Yes, and we'll get started. Okay. So ProcureLA, I am Christina Espiritu, and I am part of PACE, Pacific Asian Consortium and Employment. And we are a nonprofit organization that is based in downtown LA. And we started, the PACE Development Center started in the mid 90s, and we have provided business training, technical assistance, one-on-one counseling, and access to capital to many entrepreneurs like you. And in addition to that, we are an SBA microloan intermediary and a community advantage lender. So we are also a certified CDFI, which is a community development financial institution. We are also a community development entity and an official CalCap lender. And we also house an award-winning women's business center. Just to kind of give you a little bit of context of where we are. So we actually have six training modules. We had one last week on navigating the city of LA's government structure and contracting opportunities. If you had missed that one, we have it on our e-library recording of it. So I will make sure to send you a copy of that. And then now we're on module two. So module two is unlocking procurement opportunities with the City of LA's RAMPLA portal. And then after this one, we're gonna have four more. So module three to six in the next few weeks. So I want to make sure you don't miss those ones. Our agenda, as I said, I am Christina Espiritu from PACE, and then we have our two speakers today, which I am so happy that they're part of this ProcureLA program. We have Leah Chu from RAMPLA and also Daniel Cho, also from RAMPLA. So with that said, I wanted to go and give the floor. Oh, actually, before that one, I wanted to do the housekeeping items. So first, make sure that you are on listening mode. Use the Q&A to post questions. So you can also post some questions on the chat, but you may get lost in the shuffle. So I would recommend that if you do have Q&A questions, please place them on the Q&A section. And then we will have the session on questions and answers later on towards the end of the presentation. And then, as I mentioned before, we'll have the webinar recording. So please visit our e-library, which I'll have a link of later on. So with that said, I would like to introduce our special guests today from the RAMPLA portal, Leah Chu and Daniel Cho. So I'm going to stop my share. Okay.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So glad to be here and excited to be able to share more about RAMP with you. Just a little bit of an introduction for myself and Daniel. So we are with the city's Office of Procurement. So one thing that we always say is that we're not quite a team of buyers. So what our team does is that we're looking at how to improve the city's procurement policy, process, and technology. And what does that mean? It just means that we're here to make sure that we're looking at the rules to make sure that it's clear for everyone, looking at the process. So to the extent that we can help make the procurement process easier for both city staff and for vendors like yourself who want to do business with us, that's what we're here to do, to bring in improvements like that. And then finally, technology. So as we'll be talking more about today, we brought RAMP, and it's all about using and leveraging technology to make it easier for you to transact with us. And so we're excited to be able to share more about RAMP. So for today's agenda, we're going to not just talk about RAMP, we're going to share with you how to register. So, because what's the important, like it's useless to know about RAMP if you don't actually register and use the platform, right? So the whole goal is hopefully that after this, you're going to jump on, register, and hopefully also find an opportunity that you can work with the city on. Then we'll talk about resources that are available because we're here to help you, but sometimes, in the middle of the night, you have questions. We'll show you what resources are available for you. We'll talk about NICS codes, and then lastly, how to use RAMP to do more research and leverage the information that's already on there. It's not just about finding opportunities, but it's also doing research. So Daniel is going to be doing a deep dive with you on that. Daniel, did you want to introduce yourself first
Oh,
before I move
sure.
on?
Oh, yeah, Daniel Cho. I am the policy and strategy manager for our team. Work under Leia, and yeah, happy to see you all. And thank you, Pace, for putting on this event, and looking forward to just going through this with you all. So I'll throw it back to you, Leia. Thanks.
Okay, so what is RAMP? So RAMP stands for, we love our acronyms. So RAMP stands for Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement. You'd find us on rampla.org. So it's called regional because it's not just just the city of LA. You'll see later on what other organizations post on RAMP. Um, if you're interested in doing business with the city, know that we have just the city's annual spend. We have about $4.5 billion worth of procurement getting posted on this platform. And so if you want a piece of that pie, this is the place to be. And the number that you're seeing on the screen is 10 billion because aside from just the city, we also have proprietary departments. We also have regional partners that are also posting on this website. So there's a lot of opportunities that can be found on RAMP. Um, and so it's not just a resource, like I was telling you earlier, it's not just about finding future opportunities, but you can also use it to do research as well. And then last but not the least, did I say that it's free? So it's also free. Okay. So when we're talking about why is it that the city is doing this, right? We don't sell your information and we don't use your information for anything else. It is free. We do believe that small businesses are the backbone of the city, right? It's the jobs that you create and it's the taxes that you pay that really help funnel a lot of the the activities that go on in the city. And actually, I work for you. If you might not have realized that, but you help me pay my bills. And so that's why we're here to also help you kind of navigate through RAMP because the more you succeed, the more we succeed as well. Um, and so one of the great things about RAMP is that we try to consolidate all of these procurement opportunities in one place because we know that time is precious. So not only is it hard to keep on going to all the city departments, that's why we try to consolidate to one. And on top of that, we've also added other regional partners. And then you'll see a slide later on that will show you like who else is posting on our website and whose information we add on as well. Um, it's also in a much smaller way. Think of it as a free directory for yourselves, like either for you to help you look for other businesses or for you to advertise yourselves. Um, and then lastly, one other thing that this platform is used for, it's used to also help people. We as a city require companies who want to do with us to do outreach because we value the diversity and the types of vendors and businesses who work with us. And so in many large opportunities and contracting opportunities, we require our contractors to go and use RAMP to reach out to different businesses. And so this is also one way that you can consider it as a way for you to also market yourself because we do require our contractors to use it to do an outreach. So here's an example of all the different partners that we have that are posting on RAMP. But I have to clarify, not all of them post their opportunities. There's institutions like City of Hope and Cedars-Sinai who's told us they use our platform just to find their potential diverse suppliers as a pool, but they don't necessarily post on it. But if you see LA 28, that's the same LA 28 for the Olympics. They've actually contractually committed to post their opportunities on RAMP. So this is also another place for you to be able to hear more about them. Is when you register, you'll also be able to get notified of opportunities that would come out from LA 28. So that's another the fun part. In terms of how else you're going to be able to engage in RAMP. So if you're local, small, and diverse, like I think one of the ways is make sure you set up your profile and register on RAMP. And the reason why that's helpful is that to the extent that I've talked about, there's other businesses, private entities who look on RAMP. It's helpful if you provide some kind of a profile on there that will help them identify who you are. Um, we would also encourage that if you are certified, and make note, you are not required to be certified. But if you're certified, make sure to make that known on your profile, because there are things that gives you an advantage, like the outreach that we had talked to you about. We require our contractors to reach out to different types of vendors, and so it would be helpful if you were certified to make that known. And then here are other and other ways that you can use our system. It's to look at not just current procurement opportunities, but also in the past. And I think that many times when we go on a lot of conferences and supplier diversity events, people talk about like, hey, does the city buy X, Y, or Z? Or do you contract out these services? This is the place that you want to do that. RAMP is the one that's going to inform you about all that information. And Daniel will help you later on to better understand how to use RAMP to be able to pick the right NICS codes so that you are able to be notified of the right opportunities. Okay. And then, so how do you register? So here comes the nuts and bolts, right? So it's not important that just to hear, but you have to also do, because if you don't register, then the information is useless to you. And then, so to start registering, you just click on the little green circle. I'm going to call it circle. I don't know my shapes. My top right hand corner. Don't be confused. When you see this Angelino account, you're still at the right place, because it's supposed to be a one-stop shop for a lot of the apps that the city is supposed to be releasing. And so from anything from 311 to a lot of other city apps, we would like to have just one single sign-on. And so that's why you're being asked to create a Angelino account. So you fill out your email address, and then and like everything else, you require your password to have capital letter, small letter, number, and a special character. And just one other reminder, there's a phone, we ask for your phone number. That's because sometimes you're going to get prompted to confirm your identity. So I would suggest you put your cell phone number, and don't worry, we do not call you. That is merely just to verify your identity, and then we won't spam you. But just for ease, make sure you use your phone number, cell phone number. So, and then you click register. So very simple. And then once you see this page, you're gonna get emailed. And the email is this is the email that you're gonna see, and you want to be able to activate your account. Very simple. And there you go. Also very straightforward, but one thing that we would like to point out when you see this screen is that if you're a sole proprietor, then you don't have to worry about the tax ID. But if you're not, then you're going to have to provide the tax ID. And that's one way we keep each of the accounts unique. Sometimes it becomes troublesome when there's too many duplicate accounts, and so that's how we try to keep our database a little clean. And so that's why we ask for the tax ID. And then, so on the next page, these are pretty straightforward fields, but one other thing that's kind of funny is if you're a sole proprietor and you don't know what to put your title, you can put in your name again on the title. So complete this section. That's the way my team reminds me. Please make sure to remind people to fill it out. And so in here on this section, where you see summary is a good place to be able to give a brief description of what it is your company does. And then on the billing address, just a reminder to please make sure not to put a PO box, because the system will not like it. And so it will force you to provide an address. And so on the next slide here, phone number requires dashes, and we've already talked about how that's important. And then emails. And I think, yes, and I think that's the important part. Okay, on this next section, where it asks you whether it's a prime or sub. I know sometimes when you talk about prime or sub, we're just talking within the context of, okay, construction, right? But I think consider for this specific field, if you want to get more notifications from the system. So know that the system auto notifies you based on your next codes, and we'll talk about that later. But one other way that it prompts you is that if you're a prime, you will get notified if the city staff member identifies it as a prime opportunity. However, remember I talked to you earlier about how we use this system to also do some outreach. So if you want to be included in that outreach, say our prime contractor is trying to find subcontractors, for you to receive that notification from our prime, you're going to have to put sub. So know that if you want to just get notifications, it's safer to just notify both, just select both prime and sub rather than trying to pick, am I a prime or a sub? Okay. And then here, this is a long process on how to pick next codes. Daniel will go through it, but I think the one thing that I do want to highlight at this point is why it's important to know your NICS codes. And it's mainly because NICS codes is the way that we auto notify you. So if you're tired of always going, if you don't want to go on RAMP every day to look for these opportunities and you want to be emailed, the NICS codes is the way for you to be notified of whether it be prime contracting opportunities or subcontracting opportunities that are posted on RAMP. And so, Daniel, I want to pause. Did you want to add something to that, or you'll just add it on later?
Yeah, I can. Oh, I can add to it later. I didn't know if
Okay.
you wanted to talk about the 10 next codes, but I can do that later as well.
Yeah, and so all of that. So just remember, your NICS codes are important only because this is the way that we notify you, or the system is able to notify you of relevant opportunities. Okay. And then to what Daniel was saying, we do limit to 10. And I think that sounds like, oh, that doesn't sound like a lot. Oh, but no, if you had more than 10, you might get mad at us for putting too much email in your inbox. And so we felt that the 10 would be a good kind of number. So demographics information, just to be clear, you are not awarded a contract based on your demographics. This is just for informational purposes only that we ask for you for this information. And to the extent that you can, we'd love it if you also include information about your work history as well. Because remember, we talked about how RAMP could essentially be your kind of, it's as a way to also advertise your business. So this is a way, a place for you to be able to do that. And then here, so you are not required to be certified, but if you are, this is where you would indicate those. But if I'm going to make a plug, there's a whole different training module just on certification, but we'd like to make a plug because I think one of the questions that I've been asked before is like, man, I don't have time. There's way too many certifications to go after. Which one would you go after? And our advice is that we would go for the LBE. The LBE is a local business enterprise with LA. And what that certification allows you to get is that the city, listen to this, right? We would give you a preference from as little as 2% all the way to 12%, depending on the type of opportunity and depending of what you're certified for. The city will give you up to a 12% preference if you're located within the city. If you're located with a county, there's an up to 10%. So what that means is that you could essentially bid 10% higher than the lowest bidder and you could still get the bid. So that's a really valuable certification. So keep your ears open for that. On the next, it's a little bit of a plug for the next module, but it's really important. And then here you go. So right before you complete your registration, you get a chance to review your information, but don't worry, if you need to change, you could still change it later on, but you get a chance to review it before you finish. And then, and then before you end, sorry. Last but not the least, one of the executive directives that the mayor has has directed city staff is to make sure to try to gather information about city businesses. And so this is another place where we try to gather that. To the extent that you can, we'd love it if you can share information and let us know more about your business. And that pretty much ends the registration process. And then there's a couple more things that we want to remind you about what you can upload on RAMP. So once you decide you want to work with the city, there's things called compliance documents that you're going to have to complete. And what does that mean? Compliance documents are just a bunch of paperwork that you're going to have to fill out that asserts that you are complying with a number of policies and a number of programs that is important to the city. There are things like making sure that you agree that you're going to abide to pay living wage, or if you're going to abide by making sure that you provide equal benefits. If you provide benefits, that you provide them equally to both those who are married or those who are or domestic partners. So those are examples of compliance documents that you're going to have to complete. There are 3 that you can complete at an account level. And so these are the disclosure ordinance, and these are the ones that you're seeing on the screen. So what that means is these documents, you fill it out once, it's good for quite a while. But but I just want to remind you that each opportunity that you do go out to bid for, there are other compliance documents. So don't forget those, okay? So these are account level, which you can do once and done. But pay attention, when you go out to bid, there's additional compliance documents that you still have to complete. So I want to make sure that you're familiar of the difference between the 2 types of compliance documents. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Daniel to go over some of the other RAMP resources that are available to you.
Thanks, Leah. Good afternoon, everybody. Please, thank you for just a heads up. I'm a little bit under the weather, so my voice might sound a little funky, but I'll try my best to get all the information out to you all. But good afternoon, everyone, once again. And as Leah mentioned earlier, we do have a bunch of resources on our website. It's actually under the support tab for on rampla.org. And so, yeah, if, for any reason that you're having an issue registering on RAMP, or you have to submit compliance documentation, or even the Executive Directive 35 in terms of demographic information that Leah was mentioning earlier, you can actually go onto the support tab, which is found on this top right next to the login register button. And then you can go ahead and scroll down, and there's a section with user manuals. And so this is a place where you can find a lot of helpful information if you're looking to either bid, or if you're looking to register on RAMP, or more or less, fill out information on RAMP and so forth. So I just want to put that out there as well. And this is the said documents that are here. Yeah, and so with that said, I think something that we wanted to go over today is going and finding your NEXT codes. And so as Leah mentioned, NEXT codes are the North American Industry Classification System, otherwise known as NEXT for short. It's the standard used by the federal statistical agencies in classifying business establishments for the purpose of collecting, analyzing, publishing statistical data related to the U.S. business economy. And so this is a very, and it's not the most straightforward way per se, but this is a very comprehensive numbering as well as classification system. And so RAMP actually uses the 2017 NEXT code publication. And so what that means is we are on the 2017 list of classification codes. And so that number will be updated probably sometime this calendar year, probably to the 2024. But currently, as of this moment, we are using the 2017, the codex. So, and surely we'll get into kind of a live demo of kind of using the census website. But in addition to that, this is kind of this is what the federal government provides. If you notice here, there is a kind of a search bar where you can punch in either a keyword, or kind of actually, if you know or have an idea of what your NEXT code is, you can actually find that in here. However, something that we have been kind of playing with as of recent, and a quick disclaimer here as well, is potentially using AI products or just free AI products that are out there. And a quick disclaimer that we want to put out there: we, as the City of Los Angeles, nor the Office of Procurement, neither endorse nor support any specific AI product, but this is just more for a demonstrative purpose. So this has actually been quite fascinating to see, kind of the artificial intelligence products that are currently free and on the market today. Don't require a login at all, but something that we've been kind of playing with once again is Chat GPT. And so I'm sure you've been hearing a lot of it in the news recently, but I think for now, I think this is actually kind of a quite fascinating thing that we can do kind of as a live practice. Let me go ahead and share my other screen here. We'll go to this slide. And we'll give this a refresh. So we'll start with the kind of census website, and then we'll move on to Chat GPT. But if you notice here, this is kind of once again the general Nextcode website, where you'll be able to find this keyword search or digit code search bar, as I mentioned earlier, or you can actually go towards the bottom here and actually click on this reference file. And so this reference file will actually take you to the table of, and let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for us, a table of the industries set by their two-digit sector codes. And so these two-digit sector codes will allow you to find kind of the overarching categories, if you will. And let's just look at 1-1, for example, 11. 1-1 sector is the agriculture, forestry, fishing, and hunting kind of next code. If you click on that, you can actually see what are those subcategories in there. And so sometimes, businesses, as well as, kind of, I guess, the business community as a whole, have told us that it is kind of confusing at times to find your next code. And also with all of these categories, there are things that maybe considered, kind of two different next codes. And so with that in mind, we're thinking, hey, what can artificial intelligence do? And so we wanted to just kind of play around with the system and just see kind of, like, can AI actually help businesses find their next codes? And surprisingly enough, it actually can. And so in a little bit, we'll actually do kind of like a crowdsource demonstration where I'll ask Chat if you can provide maybe a short text description of what your business does, and then we'll ask ChatGPT to give us a couple of next codes. But with that said, we just want to reiterate, it is a tool, but it should not be replaced as kind of de facto or the truth as a whole. So you should always do your research and due diligence to double check with the census website, which is the correct and source of truth for the Nextcode system as well. So even though you use, say, a ChatGPT system or another type of AI product, please double check with the census website to just verify any information that you're getting. So that's something that we would recommend to you all if you do choose to use something like that. So with that said, I'll just type it in here. Can you provide me my 2017 next codes for my business? And so even just starting that off, you can basically, now the system is kind of primed. It's saying, hey, tell me what you do. And so with that, I'll just say, I'll copy and paste it in here. I'm a soybean producer as well as a management consultant, and also provide construction services for sewers. And so I'm a farmer. Not only am I a farmer, I provide management consulting services, and I actually do construction for sewers. So let's punch that in here and let's see what happens. And so with that, it pops up these categories, which is actually very helpful. It's actually a lot faster than going to the census website itself, but it actually will give you an idea of maybe what categories to punch in. And so, yeah, as we're looking, excuse me, as we were looking earlier, the 11 category was for agriculture, farming, and things of that sort. It gave me this 111110 for soybean farming. And so that will be applicable. The second category was for my management consulting services. It also talks about other management consulting services or management consulting services as well. And then water and sewer line related structures construction. So with that said, yeah, and if I could actually ask the chat if you guys can maybe put in kind of a description of what your business does, and then I'll ask ChatGPT to spit out a few codes, and then we'll go ahead and actually put double check those codes on the next website, and then we'll actually show you how to register your next codes into RAMPLA as well. So IT services, that's pretty straightforward. Maybe we'll try that, Bobby. So please provide next codes for IT services. And there you go. So for example, since it's actually a very straightforward, a straightforward service, there's actually a lot of categories under the IT services category. But with that said, what you see here is it'll spit out, do you work in computer system design? Do you work in computer facilities? Do you work for data processing? And so it's kind of up to you to kind of look at this information and ask yourself, what pertains most to me? And with that, then verify with this census website and actually say, hey, let's double check if this information is correct. And so let's try 541512. Yeah, computer systems design services. So that's just a quick way to more or less find those next codes and punch it in and find, kind of what you have as a potential next code there. So once again, please do just be careful with any information that you may get from a website. Double check with the North American industry classification system through the census website here, which we'll post and link to. And then after that, and thank you for providing me those examples as well. And I would say please try it yourself as well. ChatGPT.com, punch it in and see what you get, and see if they're actually consistent with what your business does. And so with that, let's move to, and I'll just register with my personal account. Oh dear, 1 second. And then it's going to ask for a authentication code. And so with that, you just hit that button there, and then you should actually get a a text message with your verified or a code that gives you a verification number. And then punch that in here. And so, as we were mentioning before, this is kind of RAMP. This is what you see when you register into our platform. And what you'll do here once you have your next codes is go down to next codes and licenses. And as you see here, I am already registered as a soybean farmer or soybean farming. I always tell my team and Leia that's my favorite next code. But with that, let's add a couple more here. And as Leia mentioned, we have a maximum of 10, and that's kind of a 10 next code limit. And it's a bit of a safety net and a barrier to you, because if you had, let's just say 100 next codes, you would be inundated with constant emails, and probably your email server will probably mark us as spam. And so we don't want that to happen. And so all of this is, to say it's very important what next codes in specific you actually put on here. You want to pick the ones that are most relevant to your business. And also sometimes, you can obviously get a little bit creative with your next codes if there's industries and or opportunities that you may be interested in. So feel free to maybe expand out in terms of next codes that you might not exactly pertain to you, but you can actually maybe sub in or act as a subcontractor in those categories. Please put those in here and you will get notified. And another excellent tip that Leia gave earlier was mark your business as a prime and sub, right? Especially if you're a smaller business looking to do business with the city of Los Angeles as the main contractor, or you're just interested in participating in this contract as a subcontractor, it's good to just know what's happening within those fields. And so let's pop in a few codes in here. And I think earlier, let's do the computer systems and design services, 541512. So we'll go here, 54. You'll find the category, which is down here, which says professional, scientific, and technical services. And then you just kind of keep on clicking down, right? 541, 541, 542, I believe, computer system designs and related services. And then you just kind of drill down until you find the 541512 category. And so with that, you click here, and then you hit add codes. And so with that, you can see here, I've added computer systems design services. And so the cool thing is, if your organization does more than these 10 next codes, you can actually move. Let's just say I'm not a soybean farmer anymore, and so I'm on hiatus for that. You can actually go and move your, I guess, soybean farming down to the inactive list so that you can basically maintain the next codes that are most relevant to you. And so one piece of advice is as you're kind of building out your next codes, like RAMP itself is a system that is based off of these next code categories, and we will more or less send emails based on what categories, next categories you have tied to your system. So please do keep them relevant, keep them up to date, and you will get those opportunities on that automated basis as soon as the city or the regional partners upload their opportunities on RAMP itself. And so, yeah, in short, that's kind of a, maybe we'll do one more just for sake of a demonstration as well. Let's try sewer services because I'm also in construction. We'll do 237110. There's add interest code 237, which is under 23 under the construction category, 237 under heavy and civil engineering construction. What was it? 237110 utility system construction 11. And sometimes you'll see that there's a 5 code, but it'll eventually lead you into the full-on 6 code digit. And so with that, we go here. And then, so it's good to actually kind of show you this as well, because in the construction space, next codes will actually require you to add specific licenses as well. And so while we won't get into that per se, because I do not have a sewer license, just if you are a construction, a vendor who provides construction services, please be prepared to put that information into the system as well. And so with that, yeah, we'll go back to the slide deck here. And then we'll go over some kind of research or finding opportunities. And so, so with that said, yeah, RAMP itself is based off of the next code system. You will be able, and you'll be notified of opportunities based on what next codes that you are placing into the system. And so once again, super important. And then with that said, RAMP itself is, a place where all of these opportunities from the city, from the regional partners, are being amassed into this single space. And so we're going to go over a couple of frequently asked questions, and then we'll actually get into the system through a live demo to just take a look at, maybe what, I guess, how to find opportunities, as well as kind of research previous and past opportunities as well. So how do I access or download documents for an opportunity? So to download and view opportunity documents, you have to be logged in. So that's why it's important to get registered, get in there. And then once you're registered, you can actually find all of the particular documents within a, I guess you can say, the opportunity screen. And so I think there's a couple of slides after that will show that process. If you're not logged in, you can only see the document list without the option to download. So please do sign up for the system so that you can register and download those opportunity documents. How will I know when an opportunity is online? To receive notifications about opportunities on RAMP, you have to be an active registered user. So make sure to select the appropriate next codes, as we mentioned, and you'll get alerts when relevant opportunities are posted. And so if you need more details, refer to the opportunity notification section of this FAQ, which is based off of the FAQ found on the RAMPLA website under the support tab. How can I obtain additional details about a particular opportunity? And so and I believe there's a slide on this as well, but on the opportunity page, there is actually a departmental or opportunity owner email contact. And so you can go ahead and email that address that is on that page, and then you can go ahead and dialogue with them. And then once, you can ask questions, or if you need more information, they can help you find that. And so kind of going back to the slides that we're mentioning, if you search for opportunities, and let's just say, I was looking for opportunity from this organization, and then I see this innovative partnership opportunity. So I'll go ahead and I'll click that. And then, this is the general opportunity page where you'll find kind of the general status of the opportunity, when it was posted, when the due date is right here, and then also who or the contact information as well. And so what organization is this opportunity with, the name of the contract holder or the opportunity owner, and then their email. Sometimes there'll be a phone number, sometimes not, but kind of dependent on what they decide to put up there. And then finally, the summary of the opportunity is actually found on the bottom of the page. And so, oh, excuse me, and I forgot to mention, if you notice on this top right portion, there's a circle or an oval that says add to bookmarks. And so if this is an opportunity that you're interested in finding, please, or actually, excuse me, participating in and are interested in getting future updates, please click this add to bookmarks button, because the moment that you click on this add to bookmarks button, it'll actually save that opportunity to your bookmarks tab. So it will follow your account, and then you will be notified whenever there is a change in status, or if the process is moving along, or if there are updates or amendments that come out through this opportunity, you will be notified of those changes and or amendments. So that's kind of the benefit of following through bookmarks. And so, this is kind of what it looks like. I clicked on Innovative Partnership. I clicked it as a bookmark, and it's here. So you can keep tabs on that project. And so with that, oh yeah, sorry, go for it.
Daniel, if I can just add a little bit of a suggestion, right? Because I think a lot of the times people would just forego these opportunities when they see that the deadline has passed. But you know what? I think it's really important for people to understand, if you intend to work with the city, we go out to bid sometimes every 3, sometimes every 5 years. And so these opportunities will come back again. So it's really important to kind of, if you see something you're interested in, download the information, try to reach out to these contacts, like to the extent Daniel was showing you, where you can look for the contact information for that specific opportunity. Reach out and ask, because the truth is, in the middle of a procurement, before the due date, there's limited information we can, like a department can provide you, because they can't advantage you, right? But after the bid due date has already passed, they've already awarded, if you're trying to find more information, people are more likely to provide you. So just a little bit of a pro tip, don't discount a listing just because the bid due date has passed. You can still do research on them.
Yeah,
So
thank you for that, Leah. And so let's jump into actually, let's go ahead and jump into the RAMP website. Awesome. And so once again, this is the front end of, or the front page of RAMP. And through this, you'll kind of see kind of this like search for bid opportunities option here, or this search bar. I would probably recommend going to this tab up top where it says search for opportunities. And once you get here, you'll actually find a ton of filters, right? There's opportunity, organization, category, and we'll kind of go through it one by one, but let's start with the category. the opportunities on RAMP could be kind of categorized as, I guess, within 3 pockets of procurement. You can say there's one for commodities, which is, as we mentioned in the last webinar, it's for tangible goods and products that the city uses. Construction, which, as the name suggests, constructing or building things. And then finally, personal services, which, as the name suggests, services that the city needs to operate. And so this is a very important category, especially if you know the type of service or, product that you provide. This is a way to kind of tailor and narrow down kind of the opportunities that exist. And so for sake of conversation, we'll say, let's do a construction one. And as soon as I, clicked on that for construction, all of these opportunities that are currently open right now and currently bidding out, and a lot of these are actually from LA County. And so you'll see these opportunities that have been posted and are open, and which brings me next to the next kind of filter here, which is the status filter. The status filter, and I apologize if it's small, but I highly recommend you get into the system and play with these filters yourself. You'll see that there's one for amended, awarded, bidder selected, closed, open, pending award, response evaluation, and withdrawn. And so for this demonstration, we'll probably focus upon the open as well as the awarded categories. And so when you have it for open, these are all of the current opportunities that are open and accepting bid responses. And then let's just click on, let's kind of drill down even further. So I think I mentioned earlier in one of our next code categories, we were talking about sewer services. And so let's just say I'm a sewer service, or I provide sewer construction services, and I was interested in what opportunities are currently active and open right now. So in the opportunity field, I would highly recommend kind of it works best, in my opinion, if you use just kind of broad search categories. In here, I'll type in sewer, and you punch that. And then currently right now, as it's listed, there are 3 opportunities for sewers. So these are with our Bureau of Engineering within our Public Works Department. And we'll click on North Outfall Sewer Rehabilitation. Sounds great. I would like to do that. And yeah, this is kind of where you see all of the information. I'm going to add this to my bookmarks. As we mentioned before, it's been added to my bookmarks. Rep is telling me. And yeah, I have the email address of said contract or the opportunity owner, which is right here. The phone number is attached as well, and the opportunity information here. And if you scroll down, you'll find kind of the prime next codes as well as relevant subcontractor next codes as well. So if these are also things that you do or provide, this is a great way to say, oh yeah, I totally fit here. Please bookmark it, and then you'll be notified of those opportunities as well. Down here, you'll see all of the documents, PDFs usually, and these are the bid packages and or addendums, as well as other pertinent information that the department or regional partner uploads. So you can download all of it at once, and then walk through, just kind of walk through the information and respond, as you would like as well. So that's kind of a way that you can use these filters in this search for opportunities tab. And as Leia was mentioning, if you want to do research, this is also a good way to find opportunities that have already been awarded. And so, yeah, let's just say you weren't successful in the past. You're still trying to figure out how best to go about, responding and or looking at previous opportunities to see what else, like maybe ideas of what the city was, I guess, needing in the past, so that your company can provide those services, and you're just wanting to kind of bolster those areas. You can go ahead and look for the closed opportunities here. And so let me uncheck the amended and opened. And through here, let's just say I wasn't successful as a sewer contractor, but let's look for the sewer category again. And so when you click closed, all of these kind of sewer related projects show up here. And so since these were all closed, and then let's actually do, on the status, let's do awarded, because if we'll actually get to the point where these opportunities are awarded, and we'll actually have a good amount of information in there. We'll find another Bureau of Engineering project, just for sake of conversation, Central Business District sewer rehabilitation units. And then through here, I believe there are other tabs here, and I know it's small, so let me try to increase the size here. If you notice, you can see the prime contractors participating in BIP, subcontractors. Excuse me. Let's go back. And then actually, I think the more relevant one is the award summary. So you can actually see who won the contract, and also you can, maybe find their information or reach out to them if you'd like to partner with them. More or less, using Ramp to get information from previous opportunities to expand your networks, see if there's opportunities for you to actually be a part of some of these opportunities that have passed or currently ongoing or have been already awarded. And so I think it's just a good way to, figure out, like what opportunities are happening, who's doing it, like with the RFPs and solicitation documents, are these things that the city needs? Are these things that your organization or your company produces or provides? And so it's a great way to provide or conduct research so that you can prepare yourself for future bidding opportunities or solicitations as well. So with that said, so Leah, anything else you wanted to uh, bring up in terms of the research portion or anything like that?
No, I think it's just really helpful information. You just need to know how to dig and to also look for them. And to a certain extent, I think whenever you see the award information, that's really one way where you can kind of gauge like this is City of LA the next step for you, or maybe we're not big enough of a fish for you, depending on what you see when you look at the award information. So
Yeah, thank you for that. Um, so let me switch back. Awesome. Okay, and so with that, we do have business resource links. And so our office actually conducted a small business webinar series, I believe last year. So we do have all of these in YouTube for you to watch, just to whether it's city procurement overview for the city, construction contracting, commodities contracting, compliance and construction contracting, and professional services contracting. These are just kind of overview videos for kind of newer businesses or small businesses to understand procurement and contracting within the city of Los Angeles. So just a good way and a good resource that we produced last year. So if you're interested, please check them out. Please leave a comment if you'd like. And then also we have our business source centers. And so just a huge shout out to Pace for putting this on, as well as there are other business source centers out there as well. So if these are maybe geographically closer to you, check them out as well. But we've gone ahead and we've put kind of their information here on this slide deck. A couple other business or small business workshops and resources. The city and the Public Works Department hold Accessing LA, kind of usually geared towards the construction vendor space, but not always. And so please go ahead and I believe there's a hyperlink on there as well. But check out Accessing LA. We have a website as well, and see kind of maybe what type of contractor the quarterly Accessing LA meeting is targeting. It's a great way to just kind of meet other vendors, listen into kind of like a seminar like today, and then get started in construction or Small Business Academy, which is actually also held by the Bureau of Contract Administration as well as the Department of Water and Power. They also run a cohort of businesses to kind of get them up to speed with city contracting. We'll just put that up there. We did produce, the Office of Procurement did produce a small business pamphlet, which is hyperlinked here. Please take a look. Also, just a quick visual way to get helpful information for small businesses interested in participating with city contracting. And so with that said, please do. If you're interested in working with the city, please register now at rampla.org. And so I believe I saw in the chat earlier, if there's technical assistance needs, where do you go? Who do you email? Please please create a snow ticket. And so it's called snow because it's called Service Now, but that is the way that our team handles technical assistance requests for the system itself. Our team doesn't necessarily help with I guess opportunity specific questions. questions, those questions are and should be directed to the opportunity owner. But if it's something that you're facing in terms of there seems to be a glitch on Ramp, or this isn't actually letting me go through, I can't put in information, please use that snow.lacity.org/RampLA, which is hyperlinked here, and we linked it here in the chat as well. And also, please follow us on social media. We have a YouTube page with a lot of helpful videos, Ramp webinar registration webinar recordings as well. So if you need more help in actually, in the registration process, please see the previous Ramp registration webinars and kind of see the, kind of the videos that have been recorded and help you through that registration process, as well as we are active on LinkedIn as well. We'll post other opportunities from city departments, such as personnel or whoever needs a bit more of a shout out or want to kind of increase their reach. And so we've been using LinkedIn to kind of branch out, kind of in addition to the efforts that we have on Ramp. And so with that said, I just want to thank everyone again for being here. I think we do have a short time of question and answer, so I'll probably turn it back to Christina, and then we'll go from there.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Daniel. So yes, I'm just going to put my slides back on. So now we're in the Q&A section. So I'm just looking at all the a majority of the questions are actually in technical support. So a few had mentioned some sort of phone number. So are you saying now the process is to get the support ticket?
Yes, please do go to the snow.lacd.org as we've linked here, and then you can go ahead and explain your question, the thing that you're experiencing, and then one of our team members will assist you through email. And then, please do also just be aware, there is an option to click unsubscribe from the email thread. Please don't click that button because our responses won't get to you, but please do respond with our staff through that snow ticket email chain. That way our entire team has kind of visibility into that issue.
And then is there some sort of timeline how long can they expect some sort of response?
Yeah, definitely. I think right now, Leia, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's a 3 day, so 72 hour, I believe, but business day response time. And so ideally we can get to you sooner than that. But at least for now, we just want to put that 3 day notification. So if there is an emergency, just please put that in there. But we might not be able to get to you kind of immediately. And the same thing, if you're bidding on an opportunity, please try to bake in just kind of preparatory time, especially if you're about to like bid on an opportunity, or if you're doing the business inclusion program. Please try to do things kind of ahead of time so that we can help you if something goes wrong. And so we can't help you if it's like the 11:59 and it's about to be due at 12. There isn't somebody that can immediately help you there. So please bake in time with your kind of your city processes for procurement.
Great. And then there are a lot of questions on how to obtain a NICS code. So can you explain just briefly? I know you had gone through the ChatGTP
Sure.
process, but there's just some questions on how they can get the NICS code.
Oh yeah, so for the next codes, and I might actually share that website again as well, and I apologize if I missed it earlier. Let's do this one.
And while Daniel's looking for that slide, I think one other way that's also helpful is that if you looked at previous opportunities, because departments tend to copy their prior opportunity, they copy it the next time they have to post again. So if you see an old opportunity, look at the NICS codes and which ones they've used. And so that's another way to help inform you which ones would be good to include in your profile.
Yeah,
Great.
that's actually very, very helpful. And so I don't, let me just reset that real fast. And so let's go here. Oh dear, not the regular census. Well, let's just go here. So kind of as I mentioned before, there's that kind of search bar, right? So this is for the 2017 Nextcode search bar.
Let me just
Please.
let me just stop my share because you're resharing, right?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, there you go.
So as we mentioned before, that North American Industry Classification System website, the official Nextcode website, you can go ahead and click here and type in sewer, right? And so if you click in, which is for sake of conversation, sewer, you'll find all of the 2017 Nextcode definitions as well as their categories here. So with that said, we see sewer systems, we see, waste collection. click on the ones that you find that are most pertinent to you. But as we mentioned before, for using ChatGPT or any AI product to kind of get you closer to maybe a more specific next code that suits your business. But this is kind of the way that you would go searching for next codes. Another one, for example, soybean. I like soybeans, and so there we go. It'll show you all the different types of soybean farming and so forth, and just the different types of industry codes that are kind of related to that keyword that you put in there. And I think in the chat, why 2017? Yeah, and so once again, this is something that was kind of carried over from our previous system, and we are looking to update the codes to the 2022 next code as hopefully within this calendar year. And so we just came from a system shutdown in December into January because we did an upgrade into our city's kind of electronic bidding system. And so with that said, it's kind of a new process that we're baking out, or that we've, rolled out. And now, we'll take a look at some of the other upgrades that we want to do with the system as well. So please be on the lookout for that. But for now, please try to find relevant categories to what your business kind of provides from that 2017 list. You might have to get a little creative, but with that said, hopefully there are overarching categories that pertain to your business. Should I give it back to you, Christina?
Yes, yeah, that's
Okay.
fine. Because I will go through, there's some other questions. So
Sure.
let's see. Okay. Yeah, so a couple questions that I saw in the chat were, what is the difference between awarded and closed?
Yeah, so awarded actually means the opportunity itself has gone to a vendor or a contractor. Closed is actually the time of when we actually say the bids due dates are done.
It's passed.
There will be basically I guess you can say opportunity status. And so from there you have when the opportunity is open, that's when we basically are saying, hey, this opportunity is ready for you to I guess you can say just collect bids. You're in the time frame to actually put in kind of your solicitation or your response, and then there is a bid due date. And so as soon as that bid due date hits, let's just say it's like today at 2 p.m. As soon as 2 p.m. hits, the opportunity status will change to closed. And so from that point on, you won't be able to kind of respond or you won't be able to, I guess, participate. So you want to do everything before the deadlines kind of hit.
Great. So there's a question about the award summary. They're not seeing a tab on every past bid.
Sure. So the award summary should be on ones that are on the awarded category. And so older data, maybe previous to maybe 2022, there might not be award information on there. However, kind of as a go forward from when RAMP was actually, or when LA Bobbin turned into RAMP, we should have award information in the system. But if not, you can always reach out to the system, or excuse me, the opportunity owner and see if you can get more information from them as well.
And
Got
this
it.
is just an example of kind of how our team is also working towards improving the city's processes. And so to that extent, we're trying to train our departments to make sure to input this information after the award, after the bid, after the opportunity has already closed. So sometimes departments just don't know to input that information, and that's why it's not there.
Got it. Okay. And there was a question on, can we add more than one code for the next code?
Oh yes, up to 10.
Yes.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And then can we change our status from only prime to prime and subprime if they've already made an account?
Yes, you
Yes,
should be able to
yeah.
change your profile information. And if you're having trouble, shoot us a snow ticket and we can help you with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Can they add multiple users under one account and assign them as admin, main account holder, etc.?
Yeah, so you can usually the main account holder or kind of the administrator, there will be one of them, and then it's up to the administrator to kind of set permissions. And so the administrator will be able to say like you're kind of a user, normal user, but there are different levels of access. And so obviously the main administrator will be able to do things like BIP and respond for and makes I guess account level changes. But yeah, it kind of depends on kind of what you need to get done. But if you have questions on that, we do have I believe a manual that goes over kind of those roles.
And so
Great.
one of the
Okay.
questions that we get a lot too is changing the administrator. Say your administrator has moved on to a different role. Um, you would, that's one of the things that you come back to us and ask us for help and submit us no ticket. And one of the things that we ask you for is for just uh, a letter from your company's letterhead, kind of identifying that you want to change the administrator on your account. And that way we can facilitate that for you.
Okay, great. So let's see. When creating a RAMP account, if we click submit to create our vendor page, can we add or update our certifications later on? Or once we click submit, will we still be able to not update it or update it?
Yeah, you can update it. If it's something that after you register and then you can go back in and you can change your certifications or say I have my like small business SBE from state of California. Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. And then whether if it requires, I believe, the BCA to kind of verify it, they'll do that. If not, then you can put that on there as well.
Okay. And there were also some questions on opportunities regarding the Olympics. I know you briefly talked about it.
Sure.
Yes.
What was the specific question about the opportunity?
Oh,
So
well, whether they can find Olympic vendor outreach and then also opportunities on RAMP.
yeah,
Yes. And
so go
so
for it, Leah,
LA
if you want.
28, basically the organization that's putting up the Olympics have agreed to post their post opportunities, contractual opportunities on RAMP itself.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. And is the current DEI situation in the federal level affecting the city certification program?
So, kind of as I think I mentioned this in the last week's
Yes, like
webinar.
last one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I think, funny enough, the state of California has been operating on a race gender neutral kind of program basis. It's called Proposition 209. And so certifications are not meant to kind of obviously give quotas in terms of how many businesses, we can't, as the government, say, like, we want to give like 50% of our contracts to MBEs or WBEs, right? Because it's race or gender. However, with that said, we use our certifications for outreach and actually expanding kind of the pool of vendors that we currently have. So we want to let everyone know that this opportunity is existing to give people targeted outreach. And so I would say, at least for now, at least I'm not an attorney, but things could change, and we don't know how this administration will kind of go about even maybe the outreach. But right now, I don't think there will be. But yeah, I would say please just keep yeah, just try to find information, maybe speak to attorneys if you know them. But at least for now, I don't think there will be anything with targeted outreach. Do you have anything on that, Leah? I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, no, I think I just want to reiterate what you did mention about the city does not require our vendors to use any certified firms. And what we require is that they do an outreach to everybody, certified and not certified firms, because what we want to see is a diverse pool of contractors. And so we require, in fact, if you do an outreach that does not include non-certified firms, we'd fail you because we require an equal, like certified and non-certified firms to be reached out to.
Great. Okay. And then the other one was also mentioning the website called LAVSS. Is this a different portal and do we need a different login?
Yeah, so the Los Angeles Vendor Self-Service Portal is for commodities vendors. And so this is more pertaining if you yourself are a, producer and or kind of a wholesaler, or, you do things with tangible goods. So please do register there. That is actually going to take you to a website that our general services department manages. That is where you can put information of what your, who you are as a vendor for our commodities purchasing, and kind of input like what you produce or what you provide and all that kind of stuff, and then place bids for commodities purchasing. But giant caveat to that, or not a caveat, RAMPLA holds all of those opportunities. But in order to, I guess you can say, participate on those commodities, goods procurement or purchasing, you need that LAVSS account. So think of RAMP LA kind of as like the giant, kitchen sink of all of the, opportunities that are kind of in existence with the city of LA and our regional partners. And then LAVSS kind of goes to a separate section for the specific commodities opportunities. So we have the entire list of opportunities that the city of LA has. And then, yeah, sometimes you'll be routed to either LAVSS, or even our proprietary departments kind of have their own procurement portals as well. But we, once again, as RAMP, have all of those opportunities here. But you'll finish the I guess, the response process on their systems.
Great. Okay, and this may be slightly related to it. Most of the solicitations for products require that the vendor be a manufacturer or distributor. The county and the state generally allow resellers. Will the city be able to also allow resellers to help small businesses?
That I don't think is something that we can answer. I think that's more along the lines of maybe DCA, because it could be,
I think to
yeah.
participate in the opportunity, you have to look at the actual, it depends what comes out from whoever's procuring those products, right? Whether it be GSD. So that website, just I think somebody asked, it's LAVSS. So letter L, letter A, VSS.lacity.org. But it really depends what the person or the department who's procuring the goods decide is their requirement.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was a question pertaining to like certifications as well, or is it just yeah, I'm not really sure in terms of I guess the context of that question. So
Yeah, so there are questions about certifications, but let me finish this one first. There is a woman that runs a technology consulting firm and with different certifications. Could you kindly provide guidance on how we can better position ourselves to work with the city of LA in the IT space? So just any general insights.
yeah, I think, kind of first and foremost, like Leigh mentioned, was getting your local business enterprise certification. I think that's the biggest thing that as well as your small business certification. So your LBE will actually be tied to, or your local business enterprise certification will be tied to a monetary preference on your opportunity. And so if you're also a small business as defined by the state of California, you can go ahead on the DGS website to find your SBE kind of process, and then kind of start your certification process through there. And then once you finish that, you can take that information and then populate it into our system, and then you'll have your SBE certification in RAMP, and then somebody will verify that information from the state of California. But for LBE, you'll need to actually go through the local business certification process through RAMP. But it could take a bit of time. I don't have an exact time frame of how long that process takes. But with that said, once you have that, I think I would say SLB, LBE are the two, I would say the two certifications that you want off the bat, and then that would help you with bidder preference, kind of moving forward. I don't know if there's anything else you want to put on there too, Leah.
I think I just want to encourage, these are the situation where it's helpful to always look at the past, look at the previous opportunities that we've gone out to bid. When you're looking at types of opportunities, sometimes I think people disqualify requests for qualifications. And I think to just kind of highlight that, when you see a request for qualifications, what that does is that it pre-qualifies a group of bidders for the next 3 to 5 years to respond for a group of opportunities. So I think it's really important to consider, like if you're looking to respond, not just to look at the RFPs, but also to RFQs. where you could potentially be, for lack of a better word, be like sheltered to be one of just the handful of people who are going to be able to respond to upcoming opportunities within that request for qualifications pool.
Great. Okay. Another question is, how can we get a copy of the winning proposals?
You might have to ask the opportunity holder or the person who's like, for example, if it's the Bureau of Engineering, see if they can provide that information to you. Sometimes they can provide you a redacted copy from said awardee. But yeah, kind of up to the I guess you can ask the opportunity holder themselves. That email that was on the opportunity page. Probably a good way
Mhm.
to get that information.
And
Okay.
normally you have to make sure that you normally these these proposals are not available to be requested until a contract has been awarded. So just keep in mind, be patient. You won't be able to get it until like the whole procurement process has been completed. And that process is sometimes called, you ask for a CPRA and then ask for a copy of that proposal.
Got it. Okay. So someone is asking about, and I don't know if this is something you can answer regarding the city certification. And is there some sort of backup with regards to granting the certification from the city?
A backup? What is I guess I'm not sure what the backup means. But if
I
I'm gonna
said,
make a guess, if you're certified by a different like a different entity, we may recognize your certification, and that you can request through BCA. I don't know if that's what you're asking for in terms of backup.
Yeah, I guess yeah,
yeah.
that's a good way to put it, Leah, because I put in DCA's interagency recognition chart. And so this list, so if we're too slow, there are other options, right? And so, but the cool thing is ours is free, but yeah, that also comes with the flip side. We could be slower than these other ones. But with that said, if you're looking to get like a WBE, for example, on a Women Business Enterprise certification, go here and you can see which agencies that we actually recognize. So here we'll actually see WeBank, not WeBank, is recognized. So you can go take a look at WeBank West, and then you can get your certification through them. And then, you can basically put that on RAMP afterwards if, our process is too slow. But with that said, I think I did see something in the chat about the local business preference is taking 60 days. So here's one thing about that. If you are actually actively participating in a opportunity, but your local business preference is not or has not been processed, but you're wanting to obviously use the bid preference, you can actually email the Bureau of Contract Administration. They can actually do an expedited review for you if you are in the running for a kind of a procurement. And so if you're actually one of the last last few contenders, and your local business preference would actually make a difference in who is selected, they'll actually go ahead and they'll actually get you kind of reviewed kind of immediately if you're actually if it's going to change the outcome of the bid. So
And so just to add to that, you as a vendor doesn't get to ask for that expedite. It's the department who's letting the bid, who's going out to bid. They have to tell BCA that, hey, you know what? I think this certification is gonna make, or it's gonna change who's gonna be awarded the bid. And that's when BCA will prioritize that review of your certification.
thank you.
Great. So let me yes, and then a lot of the other questions are regarding the other modules actually. So I'm just gonna go reshare my screen, and then let me see. So someone had asked there are a lot of questions about certifications. So you're in luck because Module 3 next week is Introduction to the City of LA Certifications for Small Businesses. So make sure you register for that one. And then I think someone had asked for a business resume, which is another name for a capability statement. So that would be in Module 4, which is crafting marketing strategies to City of LA Department and prime contractors. And then someone had asked about bid proposals and then also contract compliance. So that would be Module 5, mastering bid proposals. So we will talk about key strategies for our RFP submissions. And then someone had also mentioned bonds. So that would be module 6. So navigating post-bond success, key steps after winning a contract. So what you can do is, definitely register for one of these modules, or in the meantime, I would like you to, I think someone, like, I think one of our PACE team members had put up the information on the chat already. You can register on ProcureLA.com and submit an interest form, and we will help you that way. You can reach one of our counselors, or you can also reach me, and then we will make sure that we disseminate your question or your inquiry to the appropriate person. So I just wanted to go ahead and, yeah, just if you can take a screenshot of this, and then I will have you take a screenshot of this one, which is, if you wanted to register for the other 4 modules, please go and register through this QR code. And then we also have the next, the prior module 1, and this module will also be recorded. And then let's see. Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure. I think I've answered all the questions. We talked about the training modules and then some of the upcoming events that we'll have. And then we also talked about ProcureLA. So ProcureLA will be helping you with our procurement needs. So we just wanted to talk to you about PACE is a strong partner of ProcureLA. So between 2021 and 2024, we have served over 370 minority business entities. We have helped in awarding over $116 million in contract, 66 million in financing, capital, and bonding, and over 1,000 in job creation and retention. So make sure that you reach out to us with all your other questions. We have, one of our counselors will help you, or we can direct you to the appropriate person. And then let's see, I just wanted to go over. Yes. So yeah, so any of the 6 training modules, just make sure you register. And then Daniel and Leah, thank you so much for your time and your skills and your knowledge. Everyone is raving about you on the chat. So they said it's been very, very informative. So they really appreciate the knowledge that you've shared with us today. So if you wanted to just put down maybe the best way to contact you, if they have any other questions that maybe the online support can't answer. But what we also do after this webinar is I'll send out a follow-up email with all the resources that they have shared, and then also the resources we have at PACE. But I think with that said, I think I have answered all the questions. So Leah and Daniel, if you have any other insights or any comments, feel free before I close off the webinar.
I just want to thank you everybody for your time as well. This is transparency and improving the city's procurement process is a passion of our team. And we're also here to listen. A lot of the things that we are rolling out, we learn from you, from people who take the time to let us know how we can better serve you and how we can better improve the city's processes. If you need to get a hold of me, my email is, like, you can see my name. It's leah.chu@lacity.org. So feel free to reach out. And thank you again for your time and your attention.
Well, thank you so much. So as I said, we'll do a follow-up email with all the resources and all the links that we had mentioned today. So thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we'll see you in the next coming modules.